Welcome back. Canton Civil War Days is a weekend filled with fun for the whole family, and it's happening this weekend. Joining me today to tell us more about it is Lisa Hinker and Bill Peterson with the Canton Chamber of Commerce. Thanks for being here, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Kind of tell us how this got started there in Canton.
Okay, I can do that. Pipestone, Minnesota had a Civil War festival for 30 years, and I think they quit doing it a couple years ago. And there's a reenactment group in Sioux Falls that was involved. The 13th U.S. Army, I think they were stationed at Fort Dakota in 1866, actually. So there's reenactors that are portraying those people. But since they quit doing that, they wanted to do another reenactment in the area, close to Sioux Falls. And one of the guys, Dave Renley, was from Canton originally, or family was there, so he approached the chamber and some other folks and proposed doing it. So that's how it got started 2 years ago.
And what can people kind of expect if they've never attended one of these?
Well, we got a lot of stuff going on. The main focus with the reenactors is they're doing 2 battles from the Civil War. They're reenacting, and one on Saturday at 1:30, one on Sunday at 1:30. The one on Saturday is the Battle of Mark's Mill, so they go back and they study about these battles, and then they reenact them. And they have reenactors coming from Arkansas, Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, Iowa, North Dakota, and South Dakota. Wow. Roughly 120 reenactors. So they do the battle reenactment at 1:30, but there's a lot of other things going on, things for the children to do, and music at 10 o'clock and 4 o'clock on Saturday. And we're having reenactors that are doing Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass talking about the slave issue. So that's, it's a lot of it is for the history.
Yeah.
One of probably the thing folks that come really like a lot is they can walk through the camps of the Confederates and the Union soldiers and see how they lived and talk to them. And there's actually a surgeon there talking about all the stuff during the Civil War, and so there's just a lot of things going on. Anything you can add something,
There'll
Lisa?
be a school teacher down there, Dutch oven cooking classes where you can sample food. There'll be a lot of different events going on throughout the whole event space that you could spend hours wandering around through the camps and talking to the reenactors.
Yeah. And kind of for kids, what are some of those activities? And then also, how great is it for kids to see this and kind of see these reenactments as well?
Well, it's part of our history.
Yeah.
For the kids, they can watch the cannon crews do their cannon shots in the morning.
They like that. It's
Super
loud.
cool.
It's
Yeah.
loud.
Yes.
Yeah.
Watching the kids' faces is the excitement after.
Yeah. So my job for the festival actually was, I'm a local historian in Canton. And so I've done research on Civil War veterans that came to Lincoln County after the war and settled there, because sometimes you get the question, well, the Civil War wasn't fought in South Dakota. We know that, but there was connections. And so I'm also on the Forest Hill Cemetery Board, and I have found 87 Civil War veterans buried there. Wow. And so we have both days, we have an hour-long little presentation about Canton Civil War veterans that are buried there, and I have ancestors of some of those veterans buried there coming to Canton to talk about their relatives. We have there was a veteran by the name of Erastus Root that came here and claimed land in 1870 or something, and I have 7 or 9 of his family members coming from Yakima, Washington, to talk about him. Yeah. And then there's Robert Black, who's buried out there, and his family from Watertown. They're coming, and they'll talk about the research they've done on the families to show the connection with Canton and the Civil War, how it affected. Because my thought on that, the war wasn't actually over when General Lee signed the treaty, because in the minds of the Civil War veterans, it was so. But so Sunday morning at 8:30, we at the cemetery we actually have a ceremony where Lincoln reads the Gettysburg Address, and then we read the names of all the veterans buried there. So that's kind of
a lot of things going on.
Yeah, yes. a lot of things going on, and it's just a lot of food vendors there. Lisa's lined up a lot of.
Saturday night in the event space from 7 to 9, there is a Civil War ball. if you want to dress in period costume, please do so.
Oh, that's awesome.
And come out. Bill's band will be playing that night.
Okay, very cool. Okay, so people want to find like more information online about this. Is there somewhere they can go for that?
We have our Canton Civil War Days Facebook page, and we also have a Canton Civil War Days website.
Yeah,
Right,
that's right.
perfect.
You can just
Awesome.
Google it and find it, and then the schedule and everything is right on
Perfect.
online, so they can see that. It's $15 to get in.
Not bad at all.
12 and
How
under is
impactful
free.
this event is. All right. Well, thanks for being here, guys. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
You bet.
We'll be back after the break.